All right, so in this session, we're going to be taking a look at some before and after analysis. Let's go. Foods. Gold definitely most likely sells on gold. I feel like this sells all now, right? Most likely sells all now on gold. You could possibly give it a start with gold. Gold took me out plus 60 pips last night, right? I sold gold right here, like that. Literally, while I was doing the session, yes, I have those literal fast hands. 10 pip stop loss as per usual. Something like that. Something like that, right? And gold dropped about give or take 150 pips last night. And I began to trade it almost immediately because I knew gold had decided on a direction. And gold ended up taking me out, I think somewhere like here, right? And let me just, I'll tell you, I knew it was about 60 pips last night, right? Something, oh, sorry, is like here. Sorry, I trade this faster moving average I trade. So something like here, I got taken out, right? So it's about 50 or 60 pips, something like that, right? And that's why I was taken out. But gold dropped, and in an instant, and if you're going to look at it, you'll also see from right where I said it, because this part of this class going on YouTube, right where I said it, gold is possible sells. I think Daniel pointed out, he was like, yo, gold is dropping. I actually, right after that class, went into a one-on-one with Daniel. And during the class, gold was dropping. I was doing a class, doing something completely different to trading, running a completely different program, but still making money off of this thing. You understand? All right, so that is one. Gold did what we thought it would do. Gold dropped, it broke the previous low and got rid of everybody who would have been buying in this area. Didn't even need to really analyze that for you to tell you, or for me to tell you that that would have happened. AUD USD, possible buys. Very high possibility for buys. All right. Do we have an entry just yet? Not quite sure. There's rejection to the low. This is bull momentum. Overall, it is also in bull momentum. There is still EMA respect, no accumulation. But if it does buy, it's most likely going to buy and bust this area completely, because that's what I thought it would have done. And it didn't quite do it, and it dropped and it came back up into this area. Why did the dealer come
That's
back?
what I was seeing too.
Yeah, why did the dealer come back into this area again? What is he trying to tell you? Ask yourself the relevant question. You're going to get the answer a lot of the time. We know the answers, we just don't like to ask the question. Why did the dealer drop it in this area and then come back? What is the significance of coming back here? Something about it says that it's a trap. It's telling retail to sell it. I ain't falling for that shit. The next one that I called was AUD USD, and this would have been a little confusing for some. It's a breach of my rules in the realist or the realist sense of the word, because the push, the pullback, the accumulation was not necessarily the clearest, but it was indeed there by push, pullback, and this area here, right here, this entire area here would have been some kind of accumulation. Again, not the cleanest, and it was definitely a breach of my rules, but I was willing to risk it because I was already up on gold. So I was like, all right, cool. I'll, basically it's something called a reverse hedge or inverse hedge, where I'm using profits from another trade that I'm in to enter a trade. So worst case scenario, AUD USD goes against me, it takes from gold rather than my balance, right? And no, you're not using your equity. Well, yes, technically using your equity, yes, right? And the entry was right here. As you can see, AUD USD is currently up, floating 95-ish pips or so, give or take, right? 95-ish, right? The next, EU coming back to this, I do feel like EU can come back to this area. So if Luke, you're in this or whatever, and you're still in this, bro, hold on to that damn thing because it's going up. There's a very high chance for it to come back to here. When it comes back to here and we see our rules, then we would enter. As of right now, personally, I don't have a reason to buy. I didn't have a reason to buy even down here, right? Because I mean, that's not how my rules setup works, right? But I digress, right? Card looks like more possible buys, and EU looks like possible buys. And I want to touch on this for a little while here. Now, as we hear, I sold EU here earlier this week, and it was a trade that I definitely was not supposed to take, and I paid for it, genuinely speaking, by doing push-ups because I knew I wasn't supposed to take that trade. I did my push-ups. It's my way of paying physically for making a mistake that I knew I was not supposed to make. But I said, and I said this, realistically, EU, and I said it last night as well, EU most likely is coming back up to this area, and when it gets here, we'll buy, right? And if we see an opportunity, we'll buy it. I have a student who became a teacher who went into this trade as well. And he got in down here. I can't remember his reasons for getting in down here. But I said it in last night's class. I said, Luke, if you're in this, hold on to it. Luke, if you're in this, hold on to it. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's still holding on to it from down here. I last night saw bull momentum, right? EU is in bull momentum overall, and you can see that, right? EU is in bull momentum. There, we are in the Asian, we were in the Asian session last night. There was the push, the pullback, the accumulation, and that was my entry right there. Literally one of the most savage entries you could think about in terms of my rules in particular. You want a savage entry? You want to see entry from entry land? That's what it's looked like, right? So EU is also up, or also went ultimately over 50 pips. It's currently floating at about 40 plus. My stop loss is in profit somewhere like here. So worst case scenario, I think I'm going home with like 10, give or take, or whatever, right? So EU is up about 40, gold is up about 60, and AUD USD is up about 90. So when I was down for the week, because I took, I think,